at the new year, kind of getting launched. Hope you're doing really well. Want to greet everybody out at Alamance campus. We love you all out at Alamance campus. Put your hands together for the team and our church out there. One church, two locations. Y'all are the best. Y'all are the best. So, hey, today we're in week 2 of our series called Disciple, where we've got this really simple goal over 8 weeks. We want to help you become a better disciple. This is like straight up the middle. Like this is foundational. Let me tell you this. If we could all grow closer to God, know God better, have the spiritual roots of our life go deeper, we're going to be healthier, stronger. It's going to impact every area of our life. And that's really our heart and prayer for you, is that you would grow in your relationship with the Lord as a disciple. Last week we talked about follow me as a follower of Jesus. And so that's really our hope and prayer for you. We're doing 8 weeks on Sunday mornings, but starting next week, we're gonna have 6 weeks of small groups that are gonna complement what we're doing on Sunday mornings. So what does that mean? You can sign up for a small group. You get in a group, you get to know some people. And on Sundays, we're gonna be talking about follow me and our relationship with the Lord. How do we grow to know God better? How do we know God's will for our life? And it's gonna be all kind of vertical in our relationship with the Lord. Now, in the small groups, in those relationships, we're gonna talk about this, the relationships of a disciple. And let me tell you, this is very important. If you wanna be who God's called you to be and do what God's called you to do and be changed and be significant, at the end of the day, you need God in your life. Let me tell you this, you need people too. You can't just go it alone as an island. And so the content in the small groups is completely different. We're gonna focus on the relationships of a disciple. Because as a follower, as a disciple, God's purpose, God's spiritual growth for you, he wants to work in you and he wants to work through you in other people's lives. And so I really wanna encourage you to get into a small group. Today, out at Alamance here in Chapel Hill, we've got our small group expo. And so what that means is you can sign up. Between the 2 campuses, we've got like 130 groups you can plug into. There's a lot of options, y'all. Okay? Well, I don't know if one can work. Well, one of them can work, okay? And we would love to have you be part of one of these groups. I think you put these 2 things together, Sunday experience, small group for these 6 weeks, you're gonna grow. It's gonna make a difference in your life. And so would love for you to kind of dive in and go on this journey with us. So, okay, last week, we talked about that being a disciple meant 3 things. Number 1, being with Jesus. 2, becoming like Jesus. And then 3, doing what Jesus does. So it starts by being with him, and then we get changed to become like him, and then he works through us and we do what he does. Now, today, we're gonna look at the first one, being with Jesus. So last week we talked about follow me. Today, we're gonna talk about be with me, being with Jesus. And I really hope to make this hopefully practical and helpful for your life. So this idea of be with me, if God says be with me, I mean, in one sense you could think, isn't God everywhere at all places at all times? You know, he's omniscient. And let me just say this, in one sense, it's impossible to not be with God, right? But have you ever been with somebody, but not really been with them? Like you're in the same room, but you're not really connecting. And I don't know why that could ever, be an issue, where you're there in the room, but you're not really connecting. Okay, and I think we've all experienced, I think at times God is everywhere, but we don't always feel like God is there. We might not even be benefiting from his presence or really connecting with him. So his invitation to be with me is because he wants there to be a flow, a connection, life, okay? And it's really for our good because, y'all check this out. Let me tell you this, you're not gonna learn something in the next 30 seconds, okay? This will not be new news for you. Are you ready? Because life is hard. Shocker, right? Life's not easy. Life can really be tough, can't it? Like, we go through life, we get dinged, we get knocked down, relationships can be difficult. Listen, I'm Mr. Positive, woo! woo, enjoy more and, whatever. And I'm all for it, right? But let me tell you this, life's not easy. It's difficult. And what I want to do is talk about how we get dinged and we pick things up. Let me tell you this, I kind of broke it down into 3 levels. Here's level 1. Level 1, life is hard and difficult day to day, right? There's day-to-day stresses, there's day-to-day pressures, day-to-day deadlines, things to do, at work with the family, responsibilities, things break down, you got to get the car fixed. I think my brake pads, by the way, just FYI, are wearing out. And I heard a little grinding coming, and it's just another thing, right? And some of these things we end up carrying the weights and responsibilities and the stresses day to day. Now, level two is tough seasons, where it's not just sort of the day-to-day stuff, but the next level up is when you go through a season that's particularly tough. It's not just that there's deadlines, things are a little stressful at work, but I don't know, maybe you get a new boss or your company gets sold and you just go through a season that's particularly difficult and challenging. Or even in your family, you go boy, we were doing well, we were just cruising along, and then all of a sudden this happened or that went sideways or we face this challenges, and sometimes they kind of stack up and you have 3 things happen and whoa, and it's a tough season. Financial pressures, right? Maybe it's a tough season just for yourself personally, internally. I was doing great. And all of a sudden, I just feel I'm not doing well internally. I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, or I'm anxious, I'm depressed. Tough seasons happen. And then 3rd level, just to discourage you a little bit more, is when there is tragedy or trauma or deep pain. Let me just give you the good news is, praise God, this doesn't even happen every year. This is throughout your lifetime. But let me say this, it will happen to all of us. You lose a parent. There's a tragedy. There's an accident, a car accident, and there's something sort of traumatic that you go through in your childhood, maybe currently you're going through something that's really deep, really painful. There's a betrayal. Well, the relationship just didn't melt down. The person really turned on you. And it was hard. Going through a divorce, it's traumatic. It's difficult. It makes it a big ink. And let me just say this. Sometimes I think some of the things we go through are, I'll call this sneaky tough. If I asked you, are you going through anything traumatic or whatever? You go, no, it's, And we're tough and we're responsible and we're hardworking. Let me say this, I think it's sneaky tough because we don't realize the ongoing drain it's caused or the weight that we've been carrying for elderly parents can be really tough. You're in grad school and it's just overwhelming, and the work and the hours, and it's sneaky tough, and because we're hardworking and responsible, we're gonna talk about that, which is a good thing to be hardworking and responsible. Because of that, it can mask it, and we just gotta kind of keep going. And we don't realize what we're really carrying. And we're carrying some things. And let me tell you this, when we're carrying them internally, our soul, our heart keeps the score. It impacts us. The body keeps the score. It'll show up physically in your body. In fact, when you're carrying things, when you go through something, let's go to level 3, something traumatic or a tragedy, they actually say physically your brain will be rewired going through that traumatic situation. And your mind needs to be renewed, but your brain needs to be rewired. And sometimes we don't realize there's literally a physical thing that's happened to us. Brain scans can show that the synapses of our brains and how we respond, you go, well, when I get in a situation like that, why do I react that way? And we actually end up needing to rewire our brains through renewing our minds. I mean, Jesus is the answer. But let me just tell you, it impacts us. It impacts us because we've gotten worn down and we're carrying things. We're worn down and we're carrying things. Now, Let's look at Matthew chapter 11, 28. Jesus says this, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Isn't that cool? Jesus says, come to me. There's an invitation from God to be with me. Come to me, abide in me, remain with me. All you who are, what are the two things? Weary, you're tired, you're running on empty, and are burdened. One version says heavy laden. You're carrying things around you. And let me just say this, daily, through tough seasons, through kind of the big stuff, we all end up weary, tired, running on empty a little bit because we don't have the strength within ourselves. And two, we all end up picking up things. We've gotten dinged, we've gotten knocked down, we got hurt, we got offended. It was painful, and we're still carrying it with us. We're still carrying it with us. And the question is, where are you gonna go? He says, come to me, and here's the promise, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me. For I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Now look at this. I love this. I love the repeating of you will find rest for your souls. Your soul, your internal life, your heart needs to be strengthened because it's weary, and it needs to be unburdened, and it needs to be rested, and needs to be refreshed, and you will find it if you come to me. And check this out, if you can take my yoke. You're carrying a yoke, you're carrying weight, you're carrying responsibility, and it's wearing you out. There's things in your heart and your soul, the hurt, the offense, the pain, whatever. And this is so important. Look at this. Learn from me. Learn from me. Now let me tell you this. Learning to come to Jesus, to be able to unburden yourself with what you're carrying, is a learned skill. It's a learned skill. You will not do it naturally. You're not gonna do it like just going with the flow. This is something that you need to learn on how to come to Jesus and have this divine like transformation change that happens where I can come and go, here's my burden, here's my heavy load, here's my pain, here's my sin, here's my disappointment, here's my hope deferred, here's my broken heart, and give it to him and allow him to change you, to transform you. Because let me say, here's the challenge. Here's the challenge, y'all. The challenge is this: we all have other places to go when we're heartbroken, when we're weary, and when we're burdened. In fact, let me say this. Part of being a human being on planet Earth, and God created us all differently, so this is very important for you to kind of know this about yourself, is this: where do you go when you're hurting? When you're overwhelmed, when you're stressed, when you're weary, when you're burdened? How do you unplug, unload, decompress? How do you process pain, hurt, bad day? Where do you go? Now listen, I believe in Sabbath, resting, chilling out. I think it's really good. Let me tell you this. We all have places to go that Jesus has come to me, and God can use a lot of different things that are good things to help us. But at the end of the day, he says, come to me. And we all have a natural tendency of where we tend to go to look to something else besides Jesus when we're weary and burdened, when we're stressed and overwhelmed, when we're in pain, when we're hurting, when we have a bad day, when we're frustrated. And let me just say this: what you soothe with, you serve. What you soothe with, you're gonna end up serving that. What you use to cope will eventually rule you. What comforts you will command you. And we all have things that we go to, places we go, experiences we create that we look to. Where will you go to feel better? Netflix? I mean, you can binge watch Netflix. Sports, scrolling endlessly, reels, watching YouTube, shopping, playing a game on your phone. And some of these things are good things, like your work, right? Let me tell you this, sometimes and this is for some people, like when they get in a hurt and they're not doing well internally, they go like, oh, I'm just doubling down. I'm going to grind. I get in late, get in early, stay late. And you just sort of soothe yourself and dive into just working super hard. You know, eating food's a good thing. It's really good for your health. But we can eat to feel better, to soothe. We can drink. You can end up drinking too much to soothe, to feel better. And you'll end up serving that. And there's a little bit of release. There's some comfort. But let me tell you this. These things ultimately will not replenish you, refill you deeply. They won't give your soul the rest that it needs. And Jesus gives us an invitation, come to me. Because we're hardworking, because we're responsible, and because we keep going, we can sometimes not slow down enough. We're just too distracted with all that's going on to slow down and really allow God to help us internally. So there's a famous story about two sisters, Martha and Mary, and they host Jesus in their home. So Jesus is coming over for dinner. Jesus is coming over for dinner is kind of a big deal, right? And so Martha is a hostess, and she's going to serve Jesus. You know, serving's a good quality. She's responsible. She's hardworking. And eventually what happens is Mary, Jesus comes over, is just chilling, sitting on the couch listening to Jesus, doing nothing. And Martha snaps and says to Jesus, Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me to do the work by myself? Tell her to help me. And Jesus responds, Martha, you're worried and upset about many things. You got a lot going on, and you're worried, you're upset, you're frustrated at work, with life. But few things are needed, indeed only one, and Mary has chosen what is better. Jesus wasn't saying hard work isn't good, or being responsible, or serving, or being a good host isn't good. No. What he was saying is this, Martha, I'm in the room, and you got an opportunity, and your drive, and your go, and your responsibility, and your hard work. Jesus is in the room, and you're missing the opportunity to connect. And you're only serving, being responsible. Let me tell you this, y'all. That's a lot of us. That's a lot of us. He goes, you can work hard, be responsible and host, but you also know when. You need to know when and how to slow down, to be with me. Jesus says, be with me, abide in me, remain in me. Find the moments where you can come to me when you're weary and burdened and learn to take my yoke and get refreshed in me. That's what Jesus was saying. And I want to say this, for some of you, this is a new thought. I might be stretching you a little bit this morning. For some of you, you're going to have this experience this morning. You're going to go like, oh, I used to be better at that. And I got busy. And I'm going. Let me just say this, why it might be a new thought. Is I think often we think about being with Jesus, coming to Jesus, or our relationship with God, we'll just say. And we go like, well, I read my Bible. I think reading the Bible is good. I pray. I think prayer is good. But this concept of come to me when you're weary and burdened, and then have this divine exchange of taking my yoke, learning from me, this is being with Jesus in his presence. Another word the Bible uses is this is learning to abide in me, remain in me. And this is a different skill. Let me tell you all again, this is a skill that you need to learn. This is not according to human nature or American. Not very American, all right? Let me tell you let me give you a glimpse, a snapshot of what I think we all need to learn to do, which we will not naturally do unless we see it and catch a vision for it and work to implement it in our lives. And we do this in order that we would be healthier and stronger on the inside as human beings, because we're gonna pick up all this stuff daily, seasonally, through life, and we're gonna carry it with us. We're gonna be tired because we're trying to do it on our own, and we're gonna be burdened because we're carrying all this stuff. So what is abiding? Abiding is this. Abiding is being still. Be still. Be still and know that I am God. Isn't that interesting? Be still, and then you'll know that I am God. In a lot of ways, hustle, 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 go, go, go. Like, yeah, listen, I'm preaching to the choir right here. I'm preaching myself here. Like, I can be at the front of the line on this one. I need to hear this in the sense that, I go, go, go. I got a plan. We got 3 services, got a meeting after that. I'm going to try to fit in a workout. Like, I got to get back and watch the Patriots and Drake May. Like, I got my day planned, And and let me just say this. If you go with the flow, if you go with the current, you won't be still. You got to have a vision to be still and to slow down. Steve Sjogren wrote a book about, such a great title, Living at the Speed of Soul. I'm pretty sure that's close. I love that thought, the speed of soul. I think we all tend to go a little faster than the speed of soul. Abiding is being still, slowing down. Abiding is waiting on the Lord. See, I'm not good at waiting. I don't know about y'all. Let's go, we'll make it happen, I make a decision, bam, I'm ready to go. Like, we don't need to wait on the Lord. Let me say this. This is what Isaiah says. Those who wait upon the Lord renew their strength. In slowing down to wait upon the Lord to renew your strength, it says that they will mount up with wings as eagles. They'll run and not grow weary. How can you mount up? It's saying this, you can mount up with wings as eagles. You can fly. I love that picture of an eagle flying. It's just, it's the wind that causes that eagle just to, you're not having to strive, baby, because the wind caught them. And they'll run and not grow weary. How do you run and not grow weary? It's not your strength. You've tapped into a different strength. And that comes from waiting. Those who wait upon the Lord will renew their strength, because it's not their strength that they're tapping into, it's God's strength. That's a learned skill, y'all. Abiding is listening. Abiding is listening. Again, I'm all into talking to God. That's prayer. Woo! Let's talk to God. That's really good. Share your heart. Share your thoughts. Present your requests. All right? But abiding is listening. Jesus said, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. Proverbs 8:34, I love this. Blessed is the one who listens to me, watching daily at my gates, waiting beside my doors. So listening, daily, watching, waiting, receiving. Abiding is casting your cares on God. See, when you abide, and this is what, remember, we come in weary, so we're going to renew our strength. We also come in burdened, and learning to cast your cares upon God, but because he cares for you, is a part of what abiding is all about. We learn to go, Lord, here's my care. Here's my concern. Here's a decision I need to make strategically, blah, 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 at work or with the family. Like, here's what I'm carrying. This is what I'm facing. Learning to bring that to God and cast it on him is so important. Abiding is receiving. Not just serving. See, Martha was serving, Mary was receiving. And again, I'm for serving, I'm for working hard, giving it all away, get after it, yes. But see, you got to replenish, you got to restore, you got to get good at receiving. We love because he first loved us. So if I'm not good at receiving love, I'm not going to be good at giving it. You can't give away what you don't have. I got to get good at receiving. And that's part of what abiding is. Now, how do we do this? How do we do this? Well, John chapter 15 is the most famous, kind of Jesus had this whole chapter. If you're intrigued by this topic, spend some time. It was our devotion in our devotional this week for our Pray 21, I think Thursday, was John 15. John 15, amazing chapters long. I'm gonna read a little bit, talk, and try to make it practical. I wanna try to make it real practical to help you. How do we do this? How do we put this skill into our lives to really help us practically? John 15 starts off with this. I am the true vine, Jesus says, and my Father is the gardener. He's gonna give this analogy in John 15, is that the Father's the gardener, Jesus is the vine, and we are the branches. And the whole picture is the vine has nutrition and life in it. We're a branch, and apart from him, we can do nothing, right? That if we're not abiding, remaining in the vine, there won't be life. And so that's the analogy. Now, here's the first thing. We're just gonna read what the Bible says, and then we're gonna apply it. So this is what it says. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit. Well, every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. He's saying this, he prunes and cuts things off. He cuts things off that need to go, that aren't productive, that are negative, might be wrong, unhealthy, sinful. And then even the good stuff, he'll prune it back, snip it, okay? And next verse, you are already clean because of the word I have spoken to you, which is that I cleansed you and removed some things from you, and it happened from my words. So here's the first big idea. Abiding removes things. Abiding, that when you learn to be with Jesus, wait upon the Lord, abide in him, it removes some things. And let me tell you this goes back to, we're all carrying stuff. We're all carrying stuff, day to day, tough season, big stuff. That we carry stuff. And Jesus wants to create an atmosphere, an environment where you can bring it to him and he can take your burdens. He can lift the weight off of you. He can comfort you in your sorrow and your sadness. He can heal your pain. He can ease the disappointment. He can bring hope where you're hopeless or where you're brokenhearted. And he wants to come to those very areas. This is so important. This is so significant. Let me just say this. I think we tend to underestimate the residual impact of what we carry into the future from what we go through. We get better, but maybe not as healthy as we could or we should be. So what happens is this. We go through a tough season, but here's the problem with life. Life keeps going. Y'all notice every month they send you an electrical bill? Kids need diapers changed, get to school, bills need to be paid. Like, you just kind of, like, you go through something tough, but you gotta, like, kind of suck it up and keep going. And you do, and let me tell you this is very important. When God helps us, when we get dinged, knocked down, hurt, offended, pain, go through something, it impacts us. And often, this is very important, the deeper it is, the longer it takes for God to completely get us to a healthy, good place. And it often happens in layers and not all at once. It happens in waves is another way to say it. I talked with someone recently and she was saying, like, she had this really good season and things had gone well. And we felt like she was in a good place. And then, like, bam, 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 some things happened. And she said, I lost it. I lost it. I lost. And in that moment, I just had this thought. I said, you didn't lose it. God was just digging deeper. Because she felt like she went backwards. I mean, you didn't go backwards. God was just digging deeper to do another layer of healing and health and trust. He was working in you. And God works in layers with us. And what could happen is we underestimate the residual impact of things that we've been through. I'll be honest with you this morning. It was actually at our first service, I was here worshiping, and I knew what I was preaching on. And I hate this when God makes me have to do the same message. Like I'd rather just tell you all, Just kidding. But I'm there worshiping, and a situation came to my mind that I thought I'd dealt with. And this is what I realized. I'm still disappointed. I'm still disappointed. I forgave. I'm better. I'm good. We're all good. Let me do this. Often we don't realize where we're really at. And it's like this. We haven't, in that situation, I was doing better, but I hadn't fully processed it. Let me give you some things that when you come in and abide and wait and you're still, and you're not talking, but you're listening, and you slow down long enough to really get in touch with, oh, I'm still mad, or I'm disappointed, or I still am angry with that person. A lot of times we don't do it because we don't want to feel those things. We end up, we still are carrying things around. We've got let me give you some examples. Some unprocessed grief is an example. Some unprocessed grief, like there's a loss that we had with a loved one, with a situation. Something fell apart. And you grieved, and the Lord comforted you and helped you. But let me just tell you this, you can't just bounce right back. Like when you lose that loved one, when you go through a divorce, like the grieving process is not just like, well, just forgive and move on. No, well, you can forgive in a moment, but the healing takes time. The process takes time, and it's going to come in waves. And also you're going to have memories of your dad again, and tears are going to flood back through your eyes. And it wasn't that you didn't mourn and weren't comforted before, but God's just doing another layer, and it's just really healthy. And sometimes you got to let that, and unprocessed grief is one thing. Unconfessed sin, where like you made a mistake, but and you know you messed up, but it's somehow like you just haven't brought it to the Lord and said, God, I messed up, and kind of rationalize it, minimize it, excuse it. But it will eat away your confidence in your relationship with the Lord if you just don't go like, Lord, shine your light on me, and just go, splat, here it is. Unexamined decisions. When we have choices that we've made in the past or need to make or are making right now in the present, but we're making them independently. Let me tell you this, when you haven't really given it to the Lord and to let his light shine on it and make it with him, you will intuitively not be confident in the decision because you're making it by yourself and not with him. And it can carry something. Unnamed fear. You wake up at 3 a.m. and you're like anxious and you don't know why, or something's at work, you're stressed out. And let me tell you this, sometimes we just haven't named what it is. And we need to slow down and be still long enough to go like, well, why am I out of sorts? What's bothering me? And I think it's true for men and women. Maybe, maybe it's more true for men. We're just kind of like, keep going, who cares? And maybe we're not as in touch. Whatever. I think it's true for all of us, though. That sometimes we don't even know what we're feeling totally until and it's an unnamed worry. I'm not afraid, I'm just stressed. Okay, whatever, big shooter, That's, like, call whatever you want. Worry, stress, anxiety, whatever, like it's the same thing. And sometimes we don't, or unresolved relationships. There's a person you need to forgive. There's a wall that's up, a conversation you've been avoiding, a marriage that's functioning but not thriving, and just staying busy creates this wall that stays up. Or lastly, unengaged faith, where our faith is just not engaged. We're going through the motions. We're checking the box that we read the Bible, but we're not really worshiping and experiencing God's love flowing. Let me just say this. Jesus says, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden. Take my yoke, bring that to me, and I want you to learn how to give it to me. How to give it to me. So here, abiding is removing. Here's the second thing. Abiding is adding. Is adding. This is the encouraging part. is not only does God remove the painful, difficult thing, but he replaces it and gives us the nutrition, the life, the encouragement, the strength that we need. He prunes every branch that's unhelpful, but he also causes the nourishment to come. He says, remain in me as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me, unless you abide in me, unless you stay plugged into me. And just a really cool thought to think that it's like internally your soul needs to be plugged in. Like you charge your phone every day, right? You gotta plug your heart needs to be plugged into God in order that you can receive his encouragement. Let me tell you this. He adds strength to you, y'all. He'll add strength. When you're weary, he'll give you strength. And you just cannot do life in your own strength. You're not meant to do it in your own. If you try to do life in your own soul strength, I promise you, there's going to be an unhealth that's going to hurt you and hurt the relationships around you. You just cannot do it in your own soul strength. You've got to learn how do I abide? How do I take his yoke? How do I receive his peace, his grace, his strength? He adds clarity. Like when you're confused, trying to make a decision, not sure what to do, when you abide in him, you cast your cares and he'll lead you. He adds peace. He'll give you peace in the middle of your struggle, in the middle of your pain. He goes, I'll give you, he adds love. Love for God, love for others, patience with yourself. Abiding gives your soul what you need to grow. We could go on hope and kindness, love, strength, and encouragement. Let me tell you this. God has for your heart every day nourishment. And learning to abide, learning to make room for God, hearing his invitation, come to me, developing that skill, y'all, is something we all need to do. We can all grow in. And then ultimately, the good thing is this is what abiding ends up producing something in our lives. It produces. The cool thing, as we do this, naturally, there's this fruit that flows from our life. Listen to this. If you remain in me and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. It's going to be done for you. By the way, though, this is a little quick side note. This is telling you how to get answers for prayer. Hey, everyone, now let's check this out. You want to know how to get answers for prayer? Right here. Here we go. All right, here we go. This is important because, listen, have you ever thought God, I want you to answer my prayers, right? I like you. How do you get God to answer more of your prayers? Do you get God to answer your prayers by praying more? Sometimes. James says you have not because you ask not. But Jesus said this. Y'all be careful. Don't think you're going to get your prayers answered because of your many words and repeating yourself. It's not how much you pray. It's not how loudly you pray. What this verse is saying is, the closer you are to the Lord as you abide in him, he's going to answer your prayer. You know, I love to serve people and I like to please people and I help people and but of all the people on planet Earth, the person I'm closest to is my wife Nana. And when Nana says, "Hey, sweetheart, could you?" The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Because of our relationship. Let me tell you this. What this verse is saying is, if you abide in him, if you remain in him, if you ask whatever you wish, it'll be done for you. Here's a thought. Focusing on being closer to God will actually allow God to produce and to work and move in your life more than trying harder in your own strength. Here's the last verse that Jesus uses as summary. He says, I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. I love this. This is kind of his summary statement. I've told you all these things about abiding that that abiding removes things, abiding adds things, and then it naturally produces this. And God will answer your prayers as you walk with him. Let me say, I've told you all this so that as you learn this skill of casting your cares upon God, as you learn this skill of taking my yoke upon you, that I'm gonna remove some things, I'm gonna add some things, and my joy will be in you, and your joy, you're gonna have a joy, you're gonna have a passion in your life, you're gonna have a purpose to your life that's significant. You're gonna have a strength on the inside, internally. You're gonna be stronger because you're tapped into a source that's so much greater than you. And what I'm just praying for you and for me and for all of us today is that we would tap into that strength, that life, and that the Lord would put within us a desire. Here's my prayer for us is do you want to make a decision to respond to Jesus' invitation? He says, come to me. He says, be with me. It's an invitation. And it's different, y'all, than pray to me. It's different than all than read my word. It's an invitation to relationship. It's an invitation to be still. It's an invitation to wait upon the Lord. It's an invitation to listen. Now, I would say this, and I'll be honest, I'll tell you what I've been praying. I pray for everyone now as I pray for y'all. Let me tell you this is what I prayed. Is that even today, something would come to your mind where you go, I've been carrying it. I've been a little weary, and I've been burdened. I've been carrying around, like this morning what happened to me. It came to my mind. Let me just say this. Wouldn't it be cool if all of us could just take a moment? We're going to pray here in just a second. And what if something comes to your mind, a person, a relationship, a disappointment, a pain, a trauma, a tragedy, a season, something you've been carrying. And let me just say this, the Lord isn't going to fix it all in one brief little quick prayer, and God bless you, go get him, have a great day. But you could open the door. You could open the door. You could say, yes, God, I'm going to come to you. I want to learn from you. I want to take your yoke upon me. I want you to start doing something differently. I'm coming. I want to learn to abide. I want to put this practice into my life and respond and say yes to you. Let's pray. Father, thank you today that you really are a good, good Father. And that, Lord, you give us an invitation that as we go through life and we get dinged and knocked down and get hurt, have pain, go through a tough season, go through something traumatic or tragic, have a deep pain, daily stresses, whatever it might be, Lord, you give us an invitation, come to me. All you who are tired, weary, burdened, carrying things. Lord, we want to learn from you how to cast our cares, to give it to you, to really learn to abide, a different skill, to be still. I pray that we could say yes to this. And Lord, maybe even with the incident, the person, the situation, the internal thing that we're wrestling with, Lord, we want to bring it to you today. We want to bring it to you. To humble ourselves and say, Lord, yeah, this is unprocessed. Not fully processed, at least. There's still residual hurt, offense, disappointment, pain, shame. I'm still beating myself up. Whatever it might be, Lord. I come and I step into the light. I want to step into relationship. It's an invitation into relationship. And maybe today you feel God knocking on the door of your heart, inviting you into relationship, inviting you to put him first, to follow him. Let me tell you this, the most important decision you'll ever make in your life is to humble yourself and to say, I want to become a disciple. I want to follow Jesus. I want to put him first. Right now, you can make that decision to say, Lord Jesus, I want to put you first. Lord Jesus, I want to ask you into my heart. I want to ask you into my life. Come. I put you first. Forgive me. I want to start afresh with you at the center. But I just pray blessing over every person making a decision to surrender their life to Jesus Christ today. Lord, we love you. We trust you. You who began a good work in us, keep doing that work. And I pray you teach us all to respond to your invitation to be with you and to learn to abide. In Jesus' name, amen.